TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, Israel's government officially approves the Abraham Peace Accords with the United Arab Emirates. The corona-related nationwide lockdown, with close to 1 million job seekers, increasingly challenges Israel's domestic resilience and stability. A meeting by Jerusalem's Corona cabinet is set to deliberate an exit strategy from the presiding nationwide shutdown amid a rapidly mounting public outcry. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu officially presented his government in Jerusalem the signed Abraham Accords with the United Arab Emirates this morning as a first step toward the document's legal ratification by both government and parliament. Speaking at the weekly cabinet meeting, Netanyahu highlighted the significant benefits that evidently emerged as a result of the historic agreement.
אני מביא היום לממשלה את הסכם השלום ההיסטורי עם איחוד האמירויות. זהו הסכם השלום הראשון שישראל חותמת עליו מזה למעלה מ-25 שנים. במקביל אנחנו משלימים את ההסכמים עם בחריין, כלומר אנחנו נעשה שלום עם שתי מדינות ערביות במקביל. ההסכמים הללו, וההסכם הזה שונה מקודמיו, בכך שישראל איננה מוותרת על שטח כלשהו. שנית, המרכיב הכלכלי הוא מאוד דומיננטי בו, והתמורות הכלכליות יטיבו עם כל אזרחי ישראל. שלישית, ההסכם הזה מלווה בפתיחת השמיים. פתיחת השמיים של סעודיה למטוסים ישראלים, למטוסים מישראל, למטוסים אל ישראל. זה אומר שישראל מפסיקה להיות סמטה ללא מוצא, אלא הופכת לצומת מרכזי. וחשוב גם לומר שזה משתנה לא רק במונחים הגיאוגרפיים, אלא גם במונחים הגיאופוליטיים והכלכליים.
Netanyahu went on to name the American multinational energy giant Chevron Corporation, the third largest energy company worldwide, which announced in July its decision to acquire Noble Energy, which held 39.66% of Israel's main offshore gas reservoirs, as the latest most significant benefit of the peace deal between Jerusalem and Abu Dhabi.
אין לי ספק שאחת מתוצאות הלוואי שקשורות במהלך ההיסטורי הזה זה שינוי היסטורי נוסף. חברת שברון, אחת החברות האנרגיה הגדולות בעולם, החליטה להיכנס לישראל, להשקיע בהוצאת הגז מהמים, דבר שגם הוא יכניס מיליארדים לקופת המדינה, והם תמיד היו רגישים למה שקורה ביחס של מדינות המפרץ לישראל.
Prime Minister Netanyahu also mentioned that in a phone conversation with Emirati Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the two discussed additional sectors of bilateral cooperation, including a joint effort to combat the spread of the coronavirus, which remains a core challenge for the Jewish state.
אנחנו דיברנו על שיתופי הפעולה שאנחנו מקדמים בהשקעות, בתיירות, באנרגיה, בטכנולוגיה, בתחומים נוספים. אנחנו גם נשתף פעולה ומשתפים פעולה במאבק נגד הקורונה. זה כבר קורה, זה יקרה בהיקף הרבה יותר גדול, ואני חושב שזה מאוד יסייע לנו לצלוח את המצב.
The cooperation between Abu Dhabi and Jerusalem in all that pertains to combating the coronavirus comes at a time when Israel is under a nationwide lockdown, with much of its economy shut down and strict government-enacted restrictions imposed on the public sphere. While positive signs indicate a slight decrease in morbidity in recent days, the infection rate currently stands at 7.7% of tested individuals. According to the Israeli Health Ministry's latest accumulated data, there are currently 51,698 confirmed carriers of the corona contagion, 823 of whom are diagnosed in critical condition. The Health Ministry further confirmed that since the initial outbreak, 1,983 Israelis have succumbed to the disease. It is important to also highlight that the economic ramifications of the crippling lockdown are devastating. Employment service data reveal that as of Sunday morning, there were over 959,000 Israelis registered job seekers, among them approximately 612,000 individuals on unpaid leave.
הסגר השני בעצם מאותת גם למשקיעים וגם לצרכנים שאנחנו בסיפור אחר לגמרי, שהמשבר הבריאותי הוא הרבה יותר קשה, ולכן גם המשקיעים ירסנו מאוד את ההשקעות שלהם וגם הצרכנים יקטינו את הצריכה שלהם, ולכך יש כמובן השפעה. הסגר השני גם מאותת שהניהול של המשבר הוא לא כל כך טוב, הוא ניהול בלתי מושכל, וכמובן גם לזה יש השפעה לרעה גם על המשקיעים וגם על הצרכנים.
For 164,766 Israelis that have registered as job seekers, it is their second or more registration since the beginning of the coronavirus crisis, which started in March of this year. Many of them are not expected to survive the second lockdown.
ההשלכות של הסגר השני, להבדיל מהסגר הראשון, משקפות את העובדה שעסקים מקבלים מכה שנייה. אז אותם עסקים שהצליחו לשרוד את המכה הראשונה, התקשו מאוד לשרוד את המכה השנייה, ועשויים לצאת מהביזנס. וכתוצאה מזה כמובן תהיה לזה השפעה כלכלית יותר ארוכת טווח.
The dire economic strain on Israel's general public has consequently bolstered anti-government protests who flooded the streets of Tel Aviv over the weekend to voice their anger of the government's handling of the corona-related crisis.
I'm a musician and I've been not working for the past 6 months. I've been working very little, couldn't conduct my choirs, could hardly teach any voice students, not talking about the fact that I couldn't perform as a singer and a choral conductor. And when we think about the reasons for the lockdown, the second lockdown that we're experiencing, we can't find a proper reason for why we're locked down, why businesses are closed, and why do people don't feel any hope in the future. And we need a change.
Alongside those protesting the dire economic strain, anti-government protesters are seemingly gaining tailwind with growing public demands for a change in Jerusalem's leadership. Their message remains consistent: a prime minister who has been indicted for allegations of corruption, bribery, and breach of trust cannot serve as the country's leader.
I'm here protesting again as a young person in Israel who is feeling that he has no future, and he feels that Israel is becoming a dictatorship under the leadership of the Prime Minister of Netanyahu, who is accused in criminal acts.
Bibi Netanyahu and all the corrupted government, especially the corrupted who are supporting Bibi Netanyahu, to go home. This is not the way our leaders should behave. This is not the way to treat the citizen. There is no justification for a government who hate her citizens, who do a cynical political way in the middle of the coronavirus crisis. So go home, please free us.
While the demonstrations started relatively peaceful, with Israelis marching the streets of Tel Aviv in an orderly fashion, police spokesman Miki Rosenfeld informed TV7 that toward the end of the pre-coordinated procession, riots erupted and arrests were made.
The Israeli National Police carried out activities in the area of Tel Aviv in order to prevent the spread of COVID-19. There were large gatherings by protesters, which was coordinated with the Israeli National Police. Throughout the evening, the situation was relatively quiet, but towards midnight, protesters caused disturbances and damage to property. The Israeli National Police made a number of arrests at the scene, and security assessments continued throughout the evening.
Superintendent Rosenfeld further noted that ongoing operations are continuing nationwide to ensure that the government-imposed lockdown is indeed enforced.
The Israeli National Police are continuing operations and activities across the country in order to prevent the spread of COVID-19. More than 7,000 police officers are involved in a national lockdown which is continuing, patrolling different areas and neighborhoods. And our officers will continue all activities in order to make sure that we can prevent the continual spread of COVID-19 until the situation improves across the country.
It is important to emphasize that a crucial meeting is scheduled to be held tomorrow in Jerusalem, during which the so-called Corona Cabinet will decide on a viable timetable and strategy to exit the current nationwide lockdown.
אני עומד להתחיל עכשיו דיון עם צוות השרים לקראת ההחלטה החשובה מאוד בקבינט הקורונה ביום שלישי. אני יודע שהסגר הוא קשה לכולנו, אבל אני בטוח שרוב הציבור מבין היום שההחלטה שהובלתי על סגר הייתה הכרחית. היא הצילה אותנו מעלייה גיאומטרית של תחלואה, של תמותה, של חולים קשים, ועדיין מוקדם מדי לברך על המוגמר. יש סימנים ראשונים של הצלחה, אבל אנחנו צריכים עוד כמה ימים כדי לבחון את זה, וגם אז היציאה תהיה מודרגת, היא תהיה אחראית, היא תהיה זהירה.
Prime Minister Netanyahu went on to urge the citizens of Israel to cooperate with the government's decisions, despite the evident consequential hardships that impact millions of Israeli lives. Thank you for watching us. As part of TV7's prayer initiative, I would like to encourage you today to join myself and the team here in Jerusalem to intercede for Israel, for wisdom for its leadership, the salvation of its people, and the peace of Jerusalem, as well as for all those who are impacted by the corona contagion and its economic ramifications worldwide. Separately, I would like to thank all of you who partner with us by means of prayer and finance. Your dedicated support provides us with crucial, both spiritual and physical backing. I'm Jonathan Hassan, wishing you an Erev Tov and Shavua Tov. We will see you again tomorrow at the same time.